Hey onda, I'm Jenny. Thanks for watching. As always, you're going to hear dogs paws across the hardwood floors, especially today because I have two new fosters, Roxy and Jake. As you know, I'm moving to Mexico. There was a time I was looking into Ecuador. Today, I'll tell you why I chose Mexico over Ecuador. And just disclaimer, I know somebody could easily make the same video saying why they chose Ecuador over Mexico. This is just based on my personal experiences and preferences. Other disclaimer, I've only been to Ecuador once, and for a month straight. I've gone to Mexico 15 or 16 times at this point and have kind of lived there for like summers at a time. One, Mexico is the first place I have ever traveled to, and I fell in love with it as soon as I stepped foot off the plane. And honestly, I would feel like a traitor if I went anywhere else besides Mexico to live. Secondly, is because of the cost of living. Now, Ecuador and Mexico have a similar cost of living based on what I saw, but I think Mexico is even cheaper than Ecuador. In both countries, you're going to pay kind of a ridiculous price for imports, like with tennis shoes and electronics. The imported groceries in Ecuador are freaking ridiculous. I was looking at the craisins because it's just an easy travel snack. $7 for like your little average bag of craisins, my friends. Wow. The price of groceries, thanks Roxy, the price of groceries in Ecuador is ridiculous unless you're just going to get your produce kind of things. Like some rice, vegetables, fruits, that sort of thing. Otherwise, it is outrageous. When I've seen imported products in Mexico, yes, I see that the price is higher, but it's not like, oh my goodness, I would never pay this price. It's just like, it's more of a sticker shock because you're in Mexico, so a lot of things are cheaper and you see that price and you're like, this is what I would pay at home or slightly more. Third, for Mexico's proximity to the US. If there's an emergency and I need to get home relatively quickly, it's a shorter flight than Ecuador, obviously, and it's also drivable if one needs to. I will be driving when I move down there, primarily because of the two dogs. I cannot afford a pet relocator. It was $7,000 just for one dog, and I have two. No, thank you. We'll just drive. 4, the infrastructure. It's not super noticeable, but I believe that Mexico's infrastructure is slightly more developed than Ecuador's. Primarily in the tourism sector is where I can think of an example. I guess it wasn't super noticeable because I am bilingual, but in Mexico it's super easy to find tours and help in English. Whereas in Ecuador, traveling to different tourist towns, everything was primarily conducted in Spanish, which could send me on a rant about people expecting everyone in the US to speak English but not learning a foreign language when they want to travel, but we'll save that for another video. Let me give you another example and compare both countries' capitals. In Mexico City, there are 2 primary bus terminals. I'm pretty sure I've only been to one, but they're both easily accessible. The one I've gone to is right along the metro line, so it's easy to get from the airport to the metro to the bus or anywhere in between. In Quito, they also have 2 primary bus stations, but they're like way out of the city. So is their airport. Their airport is almost an hour out of the city as well, so it's just pretty inconvenient. Mexico City's airport is literally right in the middle of the city, and it also has a stop on the metro line. Number 5, the people. Mexicans are some of the most warm, welcoming, hospitable people on the planet. Well, based on the few countries I've gone to, at least. It wasn't that Ecuadorians were rude or anything, it's just Mexicans are even more friendly. They're so quick to welcome you into their home. If you get invited to a party that you weren't directly invited to, like you're visiting your uncle and he was gonna go to his coworker's daughter's birthday party, like you can go, nobody cares. I will say I went to Ecuador during the pandemic, so maybe I didn't get the full picture of their hospitality, but I still feel it's safe to say that Mexicans are even more welcoming. Number 6 is a little bit to do with laziness, or maybe a lot. But I already speak Mexican Spanish. I already know the slang. I already know the expressions. In Ecuador, their Spanish is very easy to understand. Like they have a neutral accent, but I'm not familiar with their expressions and slang, and I don't want to start over. Same thing when it comes to pop culture and history. I can already tell you about Mexico's history, and if they make a reference to a singer or an actor, I'm probably going to recognize them or even know the music or the movies that they're in. In Ecuador, almost zero. I did feel safe in both countries. Nothing has ever happened to me in Mexico out of all of the times I've gone there. Nothing happened to me in Ecuador either, but just, you know that feeling you have in your chest or your stomach when something isn't right? There were a few times walking around major cities in Ecuador that I just had that feeling and like, okay, maybe I need to turn around and head the opposite direction. This isn't feeling quite right kind of neighborhood. I have never experienced that in Mexico at all. And like I said, I've been there so many more times. I know a lot more of the country. And for me to only have been there for a month in Ecuador and only a few cities and already experiencing that, again, that's just based on a feeling. I have no data to back that up. I mean, I could look it up for you, but just on intuition. Those are the only points I have for you today. I will say that Ecuador is maybe more beautiful than Mexico when it comes to the, what do you call it in English? El paisaje, like the landscapes. There we go. Mexico and Ecuador are both mountainous countries, but Ecuador is very lush and green, whereas in Mexico, not all of it, but a lot of it is semi-arid, so it's dry and desert-like in some areas. I mean, there are still some very, very, very beautiful places in Mexico and some very green places, but in Ecuador, like almost the whole country is like that. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to continue following me on my journey from moving to the US to Mexico, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you know my next video comes out. Thanks a lot. Take care.